the hidden power of consciousness and the divine ideal within us. In 1900, a theory now widely accepted as real literally changed the world forever. It is known as the Theory of Quanta, discovered by physicist Max Planck, who was then teaching at the University of Berlin. This revolutionary theory proves that matter derives from consciousness, meaning that the mind is the invisible force behind reality, the very force that brings matter into existence. But you may be wondering, what does this mean in everyday life? Quite simply, it means that everything is possible. More precisely, if you can conceive something, it already exists, and you can create it. If you can conceive immortality, you can achieve it. If you can conceive success, then you can reach it. And if you can conceive flying, then you can do it. That's what it concretely means. At this point, you might already have some questions like, yes, but I've already thought about flying, and yet I still can't fly. This is where we're going to explain everything in detail to understand the difference between mere thought and the power of the mind. You'll discover that an idea acts exactly like a seed in nature. It is first planted in the mind, then fed with energy until it fully takes shape in the perceptible reality. Just as a seed is invisible to the naked eye at first, and is then released by the plant onto the soil, from that seed emerges a massive tree from the invisible. I noticed that only 24% of you are subscribed. If you resonate with these ideas, please leave a like and subscribe. It sincerely helps everyone and costs you nothing. Thank you. And I can guarantee that by the end of this video, you will experience a radical change. You will never see life the same way again. Let's begin by clearly explaining the theory of quanta so we can understand scientifically what it teaches. Simply put, the theory shows us that all bodies, whether human, animal, or plant, draw their energy from the surrounding source. This means that everything is made from the same unique substance, from the same unique energy. Within this single substance, and from it, bodies are formed. For us human beings, this means that our bodies are of the same nature as everything in the universe. There is no separation. Everything is one and the same. So, what is this original substance? It is the mind, consciousness. Now let's understand what the word mind truly means before going deeper. The mind encompasses everything and defines the entire paradigm you have accepted as your reality. This includes your mindset, how you perceive yourself, and how you perceive the world. In short, it is what you are. Let's go back to the human being. Here is how this paradigm works. From the beginning, humans, due to ignorance, have perceived themselves as mortal beings. This perception caused the spiritual substance to take on a material appearance. So, when a person believes they must walk slowly or fear certain things like fire or radiation, the body is programmed to react accordingly. It integrates this perception and thus creates its own limitations. For example, being burned by fire or affected by dangerous substances. That is why we've always been taught that fire burns, certain foods are harmful, and so on. But it's important to understand that this is only a half-truth. Why? Because these things are only true if the mind inhabiting the body accepts them as such. In reality, it is the mind that decides what the body can or cannot endure. To understand this concretely, let's look at nature, specifically seeds, which offer the best example for understanding life. Once you understand this, nothing will be a mystery to you. Take a simple onion like the ones in your kitchen. If you place this onion in a dark cupboard, after a few days you'll see several green shoots emerge, even larger than the onion itself. But then you notice the onion has neither roots nor soil, and yet it has produced all of this by itself. The onion has literally created matter. It is through this simple experiment that we understand something fundamental. The onion, by simply holding within itself the ideal of its completed form, the allium cepa, attracts to itself the universal substance necessary to manifest that ideal through itself. In other words, the onion has a vision of what it is meant to become, and that vision attracts the needed substance to form its shape. So, it didn't need roots or light to grow. Its ideal alone structured everything according to its will. In the same way, we understand that the mind sets an ideal to achieve and then assimilates the necessary substance to manifest it. The mind has no limits. It idealizes, and it simply is. But what then is the ultimate ideal? The ideal of perfection? If the mind sets an ideal and everything structures itself around it, what is the natural ideal of the human being? The answer is simple. It is God. Just as the onion carries within itself the ideal to become allium cepa, and the caterpillar the ideal to become a butterfly, man carries within himself the ideal to become God. This has never been a coincidence. From the beginning, everything was already written within us. Dr. Alexis Carrel, Nobel Prize winner in medicine, proved this by discovering that the master cell of the human body is Christ-like. That is, perfect from its creation. It is programmed for eternal life and continuous regeneration. This God cell is present in each of us. But this is not just biological, it's a universal truth. The theory of quanta proves it, all is one. Man is mind. As physicist Erwin Schrödinger said, the multiplicity of selves is only apparent. The total sum of minds is one. This means we are not separate individuals but expressions of the one universal mind. The entire universe is contained within us, and the human body is but its image. Man is the image of the creative spirit. This divine seed has always been placed within us. It's just a matter of letting it germinate naturally, without blocking it. In fact, just like the onion, man only needs to stop interfering with this truth and simply recognize it. Just as the onion recognizes it is allium cepa, man recognizes he is God and lets this ideal naturally manifest through him. Thus, God is the natural ideal of man, and it has always been so. That's why the word God is universally known. It represents the ultimate degree of perfection of the spirit, the state toward which all tends. By reaching this ideal, we transmute the entire universe into the same state. If we are the spirit and the universe is contained within this spirit, then everything that exists follows our transmutation. And today, that ideal is being fulfilled. It's as if the caterpillar has finally become the butterfly, and a new cycle has begun, where millions of butterflies are born. That is exactly what is happening now. The ideal of God has been realized, and thousands of men and women are aware of this truth and have reached that state of fulfillment. If you too are aware of it, don't hesitate to share this truth with your loved ones or simply give a thumbs up. Even a small gesture like that can have immense repercussions. We've now arrived at the key moment of this evolution. The ideal is no longer something to reach. It is here. It is within us. We just have to recognize it and let it emerge. The entire universe transforms with us. But now, as with the onion example, how does this translate into everyday life? It's actually very simple. As mentioned earlier, the ideal of God is already within man. But then, why do some people still have mortal bodies? Why does fire still burn me? Why can't I fly? Here's the concrete explanation. As explained, the master cell of man is naturally divine and already perfect. However, as Dr. Alexis Carrel noted, when the paradigm of the mind is still filled with limiting beliefs, it prevents this cell from fully expressing its perfection. In the past, the human mind, believing in death and limitation due to ignorance, blocked this cell, preventing it from unfolding. But over time, the mind has learned to know and master itself. It's like a beginner musician who starts by playing cacophony, but eventually learns to create harmony. This is the process the human mind has followed. And now it is simply up to us to affirm our divinity with full awareness. In everyday life, this divine mindset resembles love. As Schrödinger said, the multiplicity of selves is only apparent. The total sum of minds is one. This phrase is absolute reality. It's what we call the perpetual principle of unity, which is none other than God, and it manifests as love. Love is the recognition of the true unity of reality. This is also perfectly explained in the Codex of Elohim through the 13 fundamental principles of the universe. From the moment you are fully conscious of this truth, you let things be what they truly are. This is how your body naturally becomes divine to match your spirit, just as your body naturally formed into a human shape without you needing to consciously adjust every detail. You have reached God, and now you let nature do its work. Your body transmutes moment by moment until it fully embodies that ideal. Thus, flying, walking on water, passing through flames, or regenerating your cells will happen naturally. Just as you know how to walk naturally, you will know how to fly naturally when the time comes, or even transport your body from one place to another. Just as the onion attracts the necessary substance to manifest its ideal, you attract the substance needed to manifest your divinity. And remember, this ideal is already achieved. For those who have read books like The Kabbalion or Life and Teaching of the Masters of the Far East by Baird T. Spalding, I highly recommend the Codex of Elohim. It's like the natural continuation of those works, a written expression of the absolute truth. It will enlighten you on what you've always intuitively sensed. If you recognize yourself in this video, give it a thumbs up. It's important to help spread this message.